More Saharan dust coming to the Caribbean. Another massive Saharan dust cloud is heading to the Caribbean. With a new 7-day model forecasting hazy skies, brilliant sunsets, and dangerously poor air quality into next week. On Tuesday, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration published a model which shows the finest particles reaching southern Florida around 5 a.m. on Sunday. It shows heavier dust following in the days ahead. According to NASA, it has already issued an air quality warning for Puerto Rico. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration model runs through Tuesday and shows the dust cloud headed toward the southern coast of Georgia, Alabama, and Louisiana. Puerto Rico now has an air quality warning system that provides 3 days of advance notice about potentially harmful dust that travels across the Atlantic Ocean from the Sahara Desert. NASA Earth observing satellite data have shown that dust can ride air currents for 6,000 miles or more, affecting air quality that can be hazardous to human health. The project is led by NASA-funded researcher Pablo Mendez Lazaro. Being able to see this dust before it arrives is a critical tool for public health. Also, we alerted federal and state agencies as well as medical doctors, which gave them time to alert the public and vulnerable populations like people with asthma, before decision makers lacked the specific information to help the public protect themselves in advance. Dust often travels across the Atlantic and is a natural fertilizer for plants and coral, but the dust, especially in large quantities, causes poor visibility and air quality. Dust affects human health by causing irritation of eyes, nose, and throat, and it often contains fine particles of silica and other minerals that are of a size that can easily infiltrate and irritate lung tissue. Vulnerable populations like children, the elderly, and people with asthma or other pre-existing health conditions can be adversely affected. Getting 3 additional days of warning can give people time to prepare. Air quality monitoring system was in place just in time for the historically large cloud of Saharan dust reaching Puerto Rico in June. The dust was seen forming and crossing the Atlantic almost a week before it arrived in Puerto Rico. The team swung into action, contacting federal and state health agencies like the Puerto Rico Department of Health, the National Weather Service San Juan Office, and the Department of Natural Resources Office of Air Quality. As a result, the Office of Public Health Preparedness and Response and the Emergency Management Office in Puerto Rico issued a press release with suggestions and recommendations to protect public health. In addition, during that dust cloud event, the OPHPR helped keep the public informed through Facebook. Also, the team provided updates through the University of Puerto Rico's Facebook page. The team reached out directly to the medical doctors already collaborating with their research teams to raise awareness of the upcoming hazardous conditions, allowing them to alert their at-risk patients. Having those 3 days allowed people to prepare to take steps like staying indoors or taking necessary medication. The doctors provided critical information about the health coverage that they delivered during the dust cloud event, which helped the NASA team to understand how patients responded to these warnings. The team also did a Facebook live broadcast with local meteorologists and also a Facebook live broadcast with the National Weather Service. The broadcast explained the hazardous conditions, while providing preparedness measures and recommendations. The air quality system was set up using the installation of underground air monitors, as well as analyzed data from Earth observing satellites. As Saharan dust travels across the Atlantic, it reflects visible and infrared light, which is detected by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration GOES 16 East satellite. The moderate resolution imaging spectroradiometers, or MODIS, on NASA's Terra and Aqua satellites, and the visible infrared imagery radiometer suite on the joint NASA NOAA SWOMI NPP satellites. While satellites collect data from orbit, members of the respective teams collected samples from the ground-based air monitors using a technique called light scattering to assess the dust samples. They could discern if the particles were from Saharan dust or local population sources. By confirming the origin of the dust samples on the ground, the team was able to confirm predictions they had made based on satellite data about when the dust would make landfall. Ensuring the team's predictions were correct resulted in public officials in Puerto Rico having reliable information 3 days before the arrival of potentially hazardous Saharan dust. Achieving these 3 days of lead time took the team 3 years of overcoming one unusual obstacle after another, from a hurricane to an earthquake to a global pandemic. The 2020 Saharan dust storm was just the most recent event affecting the project and local residents of Puerto Rico. In January, there was a significant earthquake which interrupted communications in Puerto Rico. Then the spread of the pandemic infections around the world led to travel restrictions, preventing the team from installing a round of instruments for air quality monitoring in the city of San Juan. Even before these challenges arose, the team had to overcome significant adversity to get the system up and running. 3 years ago, in summer 2017, the team was just preparing to present to NASA this applied research idea of tracking the movement of dust from the Saharan desert across the ocean. Then one of the most powerful storms to hit Puerto Rico arrived. Hurricane Maria, the first Category 4 cyclone to hit Puerto Rico since 1932. Team is a part of a medical college. They assisted with hurricane response efforts, including providing supplies, medical assistance, and educational material on environmental health and hygiene issues like water, air, and food quality. Working on a medical science campus, they were able to access physicians and medicine. They were able to form a public health brigade 5 to 6 days after the hurricane, even outside the scope of their project, to visit communities unable to get access to medical services. In the wake of the hurricane's devastation, citizens and businesses began using portable electric generators, which affected air quality in a way that public health officials were not expecting. This was a turning point for the NASA project, giving the team the idea to incorporate this growing source of pollution in their research proposal. They worked through power, internet, and phone outages to prepare a new proposal for the NASA Earth Applied Sciences program, and this proposal was accepted. The team has worked with patients, doctors, and decision makers to understand the information that local communities need to make decisions on air quality management. It was discovered that many residents were not aware that dust was a threat to their health. and realized that education efforts would be critical for the success of this early warning system in Puerto Rico. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about a second Saharan dust cloud coming to the Caribbean and how you think it will affect you and your friends and family. Thanks for watching.